Correlative interrelation is easily the simplest, most successful technique. With time, you will build the automatic process of incorporation, right? Allow me to tell you a story. Come sit on Uncle Anthony's lap. Many years ago, like many of you, I made the bonehead mistake to think I can work with my father, right? Where we all learned the hard way that the difference between loving someone and liking someone. Because I love my father, but I do not like him. Well, I needed to borrow $1,500 for my rent. Foolish me. I was under this crazy, silly impression that being his eldest son and his everyday employee, that he was uniquely qualified to be the ideal solution. The money would simply be in advance, not even a loan. And the alternative was me being homeless. I mean, what could go wrong? Like, I had all the leverage, right? Wrong. You would have thought I had asked for his kidney and he was born with only one. Not only was I told no in a volume where I became the live entertainment for the entire office floor, but I was made to feel as if I had squandered an inheritance I never even knew existed. I was scolded for being irresponsible while questioned if I really would prefer being homeless. That if I didn't want to be homeless, I would have worked harder. I would have had made more money. That I would have never put myself in this helpless position. That maybe I should just be homeless for my own good. I gotta tell you, if I had known the reaction from such a seemingly innocuous question, I would have chosen to have been homeless. Be that as it may, that exchange was one that eliminated any future conversation over the next couple of days. I just went to my office, kept invisible, and worked my butt off. The only time I ever left my office was for lunch, where I'd go downstairs to this Middle Eastern halal food street cart and get literally the most amazing falafel platter for $5. Extra red and white sauce, of course. You gotta love New York City. Oh my God, so good. It was just delicious. It was delicious enough to eat every day while being so gross that I couldn't eat anything else the rest of the day. So when you're poor, that's the definition of successfully stretching $5, right? And it's funny because I would always decline the can of soda. You know, because I was on a diet trying to really watch my figure. No, instead I would opt for a water bottle and then simply refill it the rest of the day, again, making that money stretch. Then my education sparked a light bulb moment. The principle of correlative interrelation. What, you've never thought of correlative interrelation during a light bulb moment? I promise you will, right? This principle simply states if you do something for someone upon their voluntary acceptance, they're subliminally obligated to return the favor. At least in kind, right? And even more so, the longer they go without returning the favor, the weight of their conscience multiplies until they return a much larger favor to reconcile the subliminal debt. Sounds like a lot, but follow me. So that Thursday, I opted for the can of Coca-Cola, my father's favorite beverage. And with him still not making eye contact, I walked into his office and placed a can of cola on his desk. I said I went down to grab lunch and I figured maybe you were thirsty. And then walked out. He was so uncomfortable. The next day I escalated the technique just so you know. I offered him lunch. And of course he declined, I knew he was going to. But his eldest son, he sees every day, who we chewed out beyond recognition for asking to borrow money to pay his rent, is now offering to buy him lunch just 2 days later. His face was priceless. You can actually see his brain blowing up, as he could not reconcile this reality with the path his focus was expecting. In that moment, this mental conflict was unbearable, and he knew he had to take action. So I made sure to place that can of cola on his desk again, you know, just to really pour on the gasoline on this one. Well, within an hour, he came into my office and said to join him for a cigarette. Didn't ask. Told me, because I had no say in this matter, right? Once downstairs, he begrudgingly apologized to me and asked how much I needed and how I'm going to pay him back. Just to feel completely vindicated, I increased it to $2,000. He was in such a trance that he didn't even notice. That it was like the least. Honestly, he would have said yes, probably up to $3,000. If I went any further, he would have snapped out of it like, hey, F you. Through the years, I've personally advised so many successful outcomes exercising the single power of this principle. To the master persuader, it's common practice to identify a future moment where he can thoughtfully offer an unexpected gift at an unexpected time. People like being valued. They like the person who values them. They care that person then likes them back. They therefore return the favor in kind to create an equal feeling of value. Put it this way, we've all purchased flowers for our girlfriend when she's upset with us, right? We always do something stupid, and usually it works out. After an honest apology, she's very likely to forgive us. And this takes into account of our girlfriend mostly expecting the flowers to begin with. Now for a moment, think back, and I pray that you've done this, right? At a time that you bought flowers for your girlfriend while she had no reason to expect them. You simply just wanted to share your happiness of her with her. Again, akin to my father's head exploding when presented with the can of cola, I bet you remember her not knowing what to do next. It's a trance we put others in when exercising this principle, like optimally. You see, it shifts someone's focus along the path they are on in a way where they immediately revalue you to reconcile the events. In fact, they shamefully find disappointment in themselves for undervaluing you. Therefore, they are the most motivated to reconcile that wrong. Using the example of your unsuspecting girlfriend, I'm certain she spent weeks trying to thank you, trying to find a way. In fact, in such a trance, your next suggestion, within reason, right? Like, let's not get crazy, I guarantee she said yes to.